Hello and welcome to this guide on how to use buyback programs. So buyback programs in EVE Online are basically a way for you to use contracts to sell your items to your corporation or to your alliance or members of your corporation or alliance. So for the Republic Alliance, we're using our dashboard to manage buyback programs. So if you log into the dashboard, you'll have a screen sort of similar to this. You might have more character information that is available here, or you might have more options, but most importantly, in the left-hand sidebar, you'll find a tab labeled Buyback Program. And if you click that one, you'll have access to all the buyback programs that are available to you. And this might vary a bit depending on which corporation you're in and sort of other roles that are associated with having access to different buyback programs. But these are at least some of the default ones for the entire alliance. And each buyback program has its own line, so you can see the name of the buyback program. It can be named anything, but ours are mostly named after the kind of goods they allow for. You can see the locations where you can use the buyback program. So this is important. These are the places your contract should be at. So if it's not in one of these stations, you might not get your buyback contract accepted. You can see the tax rate of the buyback program. So in this case, it's 10%. You can see which corporation is managing the buyback program, or it could also be a member. And you can see, well, almost towards the end, you can see some of the settings. So in this case, these icons are mainly related to, you can see the little hub tag if you hover over it, but they're related to this buyback program using compressed values for calculating buyback, or refined values, or the raw value, depending on your ore. So it will try to give you the best price of those three sort of big categories of ore. And this buyback program only allows for certain items or similar. And lastly, it's only available to the alliance. And in the actions, you can use the buyback program, or you can see the special taxes. For most of our buyback programs, there are no special taxes, but the special taxes also works to define the items that you're allowed to sell to this buyback program. So this one is for ore. You can see it will more or less allow any ore you can think of in any state. So normal ore, you can see there's some of the ice in here. You can find ore in the old batch compressed version. You can find ore in the new compressed version. Moon ore, rare ore, parchment ore should all be in here. So, but you can check the entire list if you really want to. And this one could be a lot longer for some of the other programs. And if you click here, you get back to the main page. A few other options. There's an FAQ quickly outlining how to use a buyback program. So have your items in the location, click use, copy paste your data into it, and then just fill in the settings. Under statistics, you can see the programs you've used, the outstanding contracts you have, the total contracts you have, well, a manager of a buyback program have bought. And you can see the finished contracts. It will have more info the further you get, but it will show your historical info on your current contracts when it updates. So to use a buyback program, you head to the main page, select the right buyback program. That's an important bit, otherwise you might not get offered any ISK for your goods, and you click use. When you click use, you get presented with this contract calculator, which has a big open box for your items, and it has an optional donation amount you can set. So if you want to give your corp a further discount than the tax rate, you can set your donation amount here. So, but to fill out this items form, as it says in the hint, you should copy paste your item data form here in your inventory. So let me just quickly head over to EVE Online and show you how to do that. Right, so now that we're in the game on this character, I'll just head over to my inventory where I have some ore. So I'll try to use the ore buyback for this demonstration. And the most important thing here is that you toggle your view. So this is your default icons view. Looks nice and pretty, but it doesn't work for buyback. So you need to move your view to the list view. It looks like this. And then you just need to select the items you want to fill into the buyback. So a way of doing it can be to hit Ctrl A if you, like me, don't have anything else in your inventory that you don't want to sell. Or you can like Control click, you can drag to select whatever you want really. When you have everything selected, you want to fill into the buyback and get a price for it, you can just hit Ctrl C to copy the information. And an alternative thing you can do actually is, instead of using your inventory, you can use your personal assets. And your personal assets will be in a list already. And here you could do the same. So to select all of this, I'll just press Shift and then click, get all the ore, and I can hit Control C, and I'll copy all this again. So with this information copied, we'll just head back to the dashboard and fill it to the big box, and then start doing the calculation. So now that we're back in the dashboard, I'll just simply take the list we just copied and paste it into this big items slab, well, box or whatever you want to call it. And this will give me just show up like this. It looks messy, and it already has like the estimated prices from the game and all this, but don't worry about it. The buyback will automatically handle all that. And then I think just for the fun of it, let's put in a donation amount just so you can see how that works. With everything filled in, I'll just hit calculate. And now it's done its calculations for the buyback. It will relist the places you're allowed to put up this contract for sale. So in this case, you have 5 stations to pick from. It will give you the details you need for your contract. So who you should make it out to, how much money you should put in it, the expiration, and most importantly, it will give you this tracking code you need to put in the description. The tracking code is basically what allows us to follow your contract from the game into the dashboard, validate that your payment is correctly, validate, well, it will also make sure you get paid on time, because it will ping us in Discord to alert us that there is a contract for us to accept. And after the contract details, you'll get a detailed breakdown of how it ended up with this value for your contract of around 27 million ISK. So it will say the value of your ore before taxes, that was the 40 million. It will say the taxes, 4 million. And it will say, in this case, my donation amount, which is around 9 million. That makes me a total of 27 million ISK. And if you want to dive even more into detail, you can go further down and you'll get the item details. So from here, you can see that we had in my contract, I have some compressed score item. I'm not going to go through it all. This is very long and detailed because it will break down every single item. But for compressed score item, at this quantity, the G to sell value from last time the price is updated. So our prices update once every single day. It doesn't update constantly. But the last time we updated G to pricing, it was 25 ISK. The G to buy was 17. The taxes were 15%, meaning our price will be 15 ISK. That means the total for this amount of compressed condensed scoreite will be 5.4 million ISK. In the notes, you can see that for this ore, the condensed scoreite, it used the compressed value, or it used the raw price because it's already compressed. So the raw price was the best one. And if you want to see the individual prices, you can see here is the raw price. So raw in this case is compressed. You can see the compressed price, the same, and you can see with the refining rate we put in, this is how the price would be if you sold it refined, which is a lot less. You would only earn 10 ISK. So it will automatically pick the best price. Maybe if I find Pyroxis that was raw, you will see a better example. So here it's using the compressed price. That's the best one. So raw price would have been 20 ISK, the compressed is 22, and the refined price would have been 15. So keep in mind the buyback will all the time, at least for this program, it will select the best option of these ones. You can see that in the settings. And below you have the field again, so you could actually redo all this if you're not satisfied. When you have your contract details, you can basically take these and copy them back into the game. So let's do one. Well, I'll cheat a bit. Let's just take the amount and a description. This you don't really need to copy, but you can if you're lazy. But yeah, let's go back to the game and then start filling in our contract. So now that we're back in the game, it's time to set up our contract. So I have the items from earlier selected still. I'll press right click, create contract, and this contract, as it said in the buyback program we use, should be made out to Invest in Inc. So I'll just fill that in. You could copy paste it in if you wanted to. Press next, see that my items are still selected. And now we get to where you should fill in the last bit of information. So first I'll fill in the tracking code in the description. You can recognize the tracking codes, but it was a REPUB something, buyback program, BBP, and then some randomness. And secondly, from the old screen, I need the ISK value, which I just copy pasted into a note, and I'll put that into the I will receive field. That's about it. I'll press next, just double check. I have the description, it's made out to the Right, corporation. I'll put in my ISK amount. Now it's all good to go. So I'll press finish. I'll confirm that I want to create the contract. And now my contract is ready, and it will trigger a notification on the next update to the owner of the buyback program, so they can see that you have a pending contract. And then in the dashboard, they'll be able to validate your contract and check everything is set up correctly, and then you will get paid some ISK. It's pretty simple, actually. So that's about it. I hope this guide helped you on how to use buyback programs, and hopefully it's useful to you, and it's another way you can make some ISK and use that you're in an alliance and in a corporation. So have a look, see what programs are available to you, and see what rates you can get and which stations you can use. And that will be all for this guide. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.